The morning sunlight spills through the dusty diner windows, catching the tired eyes of Clara, a single mother working her third double shift this week. The clatter of dishes, the hiss of the coffee machine, the never-ending sound of footsteps. It's her rhythm, her survival. Every dollar she earns means food on the table for her little girl, Lily. That thought keeps her going, even when her back aches and her hands sting from scrubbing greasy floors. But on this particular afternoon, life changes in a way she never saw coming. Mr. Harlan, the owner, a man with expensive suits and an ego to match, storms out of his office, waving a receipt. His voice cuts through the diner. "Who took the cash from the register?" he shouts, eyes darting around before landing on Clara. Clara freezes. "Sir, I didn't take anything." But he's not listening. He points at her like she's already guilty. "You were the last one near it. Don't lie to me." The entire diner goes silent. Customers stop eating. Her co-workers glance at her with pity and doubt. Tears well up as she pleads, "Please, Mr. Harlan, I swear on my daughter's life, I didn't steal." But his voice grows colder. "Pack your things. You're done here." In that single moment, the little stability Clara had crumbles. The humiliation burns deeper than the pain itself. She walks out under the pitying stares of strangers. A small plastic bag with her uniform is all she carries. That night, she gets home to a dark, cold apartment. Lily runs to hug her, asking, "Mommy, are you okay?" Clara forces a smile. "I'm fine, baby. Mommy's just tired." But when she looks at the door, there it is, an eviction notice taped to the peeling paint. Her legs weaken, and she sinks to the floor, holding her daughter tight. Everything she's fought for, slipping away like water through her hands. And yet, this is only the beginning. Because what happens next will test not just her faith, but the very core of who she is. When life closes every door, will Clara open one herself, or break the next she finds? The days that follow feel endless. Clara goes from one place to another, grocery stores, laundromats, diners, asking for work. Each time, she hears the same polite rejection, "Sorry, we're not hiring right now." But she knows the truth. Rumors travel fast in small towns. And Mr. Harlan made sure everyone heard about her theft. At night, she sits by the window watching cars pass, wondering how people keep living when the world turns its back on them. Her savings vanish faster than she can count, and the bills pile up like a cruel reminder that life doesn't wait for you to heal. Then one night, Lily coughs, deep, harsh, and dry. Panic strikes. Clara rummages through drawers for spare change. The medicine costs $23. She has 8. She holds Lily in her arms, whispering softly, "You'll be okay, baby. Mommy's got you." But her voice cracks. The helplessness cuts deep. That night, as her daughter sleeps, Clara sits by the bedside, staring at the small lamp's glow. Inside her chest, something shifts. For the first time, she feels hate. The same man who humiliated her still runs his fancy diner, while she can't even afford cough syrup. And then, she overhears something. At the grocery store the next morning, 2 women gossip near the milk aisle. "You heard about Harlan's diner? Staff keep quitting. They say the kitchen's a mess. He might lose everything soon." Clara's breath catches. It's almost poetic. The man who ruined her, now struggling himself. A dark thought crosses her mind. Maybe she could help that downfall along. After all, she knows every corner of that diner. The hidden mold, the expired supplies, the violations he ignored. If she tipped off the inspector, the place would be shut down in a day. For the first time in weeks, she feels something that almost resembles power. But revenge, once it whispers to your heart, doesn't stop at just a whisper. Will Clara take her chance at revenge, or will her heart remember who she really is? The next evening, Clara sits at the small kitchen table, an old phone in her hand. The inspector's number is on the screen. One call, that's all it would take. She stares at it, the cursor blinking like a heartbeat. Her mind races. He ruined your life. He deserves it. But then, something catches her eye, a colorful piece of paper taped to the wall. It's Lily's drawing. 2 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. Above them, in clumsy crayon letters, Mommy is my hero because she's kind. Her hand trembles. Her throat tightens. She whispers to herself, what kind of hero would destroy someone just to feel better? Tears spill down her cheeks as she realizes that this moment, is the real test. Not of strength, but of soul. Clara sets the phone down. She turns off the light and sits in silence, breathing through the ache in her chest. Revenge would feel good, for a moment. But it wouldn't heal her. It would only make her into the very thing she despised. Days pass and the urge fades. But something else takes its place, a strange, quiet clarity. She starts volunteering at a local shelter, cleaning tables and serving food. The work pays little, but it feeds her spirit. Slowly, she starts to believe that maybe her life isn't over, maybe it's just being rewritten. And then, one morning, she overhears another rumor, this time about Mr. Harlan's wife. She's been hospitalized, battling an illness. The diner is falling apart without her. Clara stands frozen. For the first time, she doesn't feel anger, only pity. Maybe this is her moment to end his story, or maybe it's her chance to change her own. What Clara does next will shock everyone, even the man who once destroyed her. The following week, Clara wakes early before sunrise. She prepares a small basket, homemade soup, fresh bread, and a small vase of flowers picked from a nearby field. She writes on a plain card, "From someone who wishes you well." Then quietly she leaves it outside the diner's back door and walks away. She doesn't do it for recognition. She doesn't do it to feel noble. She does it because she refuses to let pain dictate the kind of person she becomes. The next morning, she does it again. And the next. Inside the diner, Mr. Harlan is confused. Each day, a basket waits for him, warm food, gentle words, and no clue who it's from. He eats in silence, feeling something he hasn't felt in years, gratitude. When one of his cooks asks, "You think it's from your wife's friends?" he just shakes his head, whispering, "No. I think it's from someone I don't deserve." Days turn into weeks. The baskets keep coming. The diner slowly brightens again, not just the walls, but the spirit inside. Employees return, saying they want to help rebuild. Somehow, kindness has found its way into every corner again. Mr. Harlan spends nights at the hospital, holding his wife's hand, wondering who could be so selfless when he's been so cruel. And one morning as he leaves the hospital, he spots Clara across the street, walking Lily to school, holding her hand, smiling gently. His heart drops. Could it be her? He watches her vanish into the crowd, guilt flooding through him like a storm. When truth comes to light, can redemption ever be enough? A week later, there's a knock on Clara's door. When she opens it, Mr. Harlan stands there, no suit, no arrogance, just a humbled man clutching his hat in both hands. "Clara," he says quietly, "I found out it was you. The food, the flowers, the kindness I never deserved." She says nothing. Her daughter peers from behind her, curious. "I wronged you," he continues, voice shaking. "I let pride blind me. I cost you your job, your dignity. And yet, you showed me what I forgot, that people can still care." He looks down, tears in his eyes. "If you can find it in your heart to forgive me, I want you back. Not as a cleaner. As a manager. Help me rebuild what I broke." Clara hesitates. Then she looks at Lily, the little girl whose drawing reminded her who she was. She nods softly. "I forgive you." The diner reopens under new management. This time, it's different. There's laughter, teamwork, and hope. Word spreads around town, not about scandal, but about redemption. About the poor single mom who chose kindness when she had every reason not to. And for Clara, peace doesn't come from paychecks or apologies. It comes from knowing she never let hate define her. Because kindness isn't weakness. It's power, power restrained by grace. Moral of this story: sometimes the strongest act of revenge is choosing to forgive. True power lies not in what we can destroy, but in what we can choose to heal. Sometimes, the greatest revenge isn't in getting even. It's in rising above, in refusing to let someone's cruelty turn you bitter. Because forgiveness doesn't mean they were right. It means you've chosen peace over poison. Kindness is not weakness. It's strength held steady, grace in motion. When you choose compassion over revenge, you don't just change your story. You change the world around you. If this story touched your heart, share it, not just online, but through your actions. Be kind to someone who doesn't deserve it. Forgive someone who's never said sorry. And remember, what you give always finds its way back to you. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were Clara? Subscribe for more real, emotional stories that remind us all that even in a cruel world, kindness still wins. And remember, we're not just telling stories. We're changing lives,